Oh, okay.
Okay, got it. Look at a push. Got it. Stupid
Yep.
thing. Hold on.
So how was your Christmas?
It was actually very nice. It was very low key, easy. We actually have family members coming over tonight after I do this podcast.
Oh, sweet. We,
No more than 10.
Barry said no more than 10. We,
Especially in my stupid ass state.
yeah, right. Well, bring them to Texas and you can have as many as you want. We don't care here. We opened gifts on the 23rd, and then on Christmas Eve, we spent the day, I cooked, and then we just spent the day doing oh no,
We went to see the new Spider-Man again.
no. Christmas Eve, we went to Tiffany's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, very nice.
And then yesterday we went to see the new Spider-Man again. So
Everybody, I haven't seen it yet, but everyone that's seen it loves it.
it was good.
They said it was awesome. So
I think Hadley slept through most of it, but she's not a big movie goer. So anyway, all right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. Not that that you need much introduction, but I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
well, my name is Shawna Mendelson. I've been in the strength world for this year will be 29 years. My main sport is powerlifting, but I also compete in Scottish Highland Games. And I've also competed as a female bodybuilder.
Yay. For those of you living under a rock, meet Shawna Mendelson.
I have to thank you so much for asking me to be on this because I'm very honored.
Girl, thank you for doing this. Like, I'm so excited. First off, because I haven't seen you since July. So like to get to sit down and just, even just over Zoom, get to see you and talk to you, I was like, yay. So I hate that we're so far apart, but at least we get Zoom.
That's true. We're lucky to have this.
About bigger weight. She has lifted bigger weights than you've lied about.
He said, this is Shawna. She's lifted bigger weights than you've lied about.
Oh, Barry.
So, all right. Well, so I'm going to let you tell a little bit about your background, kind of what you do in your daily life, what you, just your day-to-day life and what you do.
Sure. So I'm a strength coach. I own a gym on Long Island in New York, for those who don't know where Long Island is.
For the ones that don't know who you are too.
It's called Blue Collar Barbell. We have it's about 5,500 square feet. I own it with my partner, Jay, my better half. And so I run a strength team. Primarily though, during the day, I do all personal training. I also do prehab, I do rehab. So I'm kind of all over the gamut when it comes to getting people in shape or making them feel better or whatnot.
The dog just decided to scratch her back in the middle of it. So yeah, and I think Barry and William both probably would call you evil.
No,
You guys love me.
Called you evil. No, you're right. She didn't let you die, but you complained about it the whole time.
She doesn't understand the.
It's love hate.
No, you're just a little bit behind the times. Their nutrition has evolved. Pizza it's like a 7-meal thing. And
it's the main food group.
It's very advanced. Fauci actually just announced it recently. So
they're in trouble now.
It's legit.
So they say.
Right, exactly. Okay, so, and this is a question that I ask everybody.
Sure.
And I'm actually really interested in this one when it comes to you. Most men grew up with strongman on every shelf, every newsstand, especially for, me, like that wasn't prevalent when I was growing up. My introduction to strength was Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
When was that moment you decided to be strong? What got you into strength? How'd you get into all of this?
Well, so when I was little, I was a gymnast. And I loved it, loved it, loved it. But when I got boobs and became a girl, it slowed me down so much that I couldn't do it anymore. Like when I was doing the vault, I wasn't flipping right and it just wasn't working out. So from that point, I was always kind of into like fitness and being healthy and staying in shape. And my mom was always super, super strong. And growing up, I was always the strongest out of all of my friends. Like I could always pick them up and walk around with them and put people on my back or on my shoulders. So I always knew I was stronger than everybody else. But in regards to powerlifting, my brother and his wife are the ones that really got me into it, because Scott started doing it first. And when he's like, oh, I'm going to powerlift. I'm like, what the fuck is powerlift? I go, why don't you just say you're just lifting weights? So he goes, no, I'm going to compete. I'm doing a bench press contest, this, and that. So when he started getting into it, his wife, Marcel, the one that you see slapping him in the face, she's like, Shawna, you got to do this. And at the time, I was living another life, meaning I worked in the garment district because my undergrad is in fashion merchandising and business. So I worked in the garment district for about 8 years in Manhattan. And so between that and finishing college and all this other stuff, I was like, oh, I don't have time. I'm barely able to get to the gym now. P.S. Fast forward, I went to an Arnold, and at the Arnold, I met people who actually powerlifted on Long Island and trained out of a gym called Iron Island Gym, which if you're from the East Coast, Iron Island Gym was the mecca of the entire East Coast. If you did strongman, if you did powerlifting, or even highland games at that time. And this is going back into like the late 80s, early 90s. So yeah, so that's how it started. I went in for a test day, and I even told the guy, I was like, look, I'm going to be a bench specialist because my knees are bad from, gymnastics, and I played ice hockey and whatever else. I said, so I'm just going to do bench. He's like, just come down for a test day. And then that was it. I never looked back.
You were hooked.
I was hooked.
So obviously our sport is, the women in our sport are doing some amazing things. And I just, for me, it's really exciting to talk to the women that have been in this sport for a long time, you and Bekah and Laura, and get your perspective on it. How do you feel about it? What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's outstanding. I mean, like if I can get on the top of a building in Raw and say, fuck all you assholes for always trying to keep us down, I would totally do that. When I was coming up in the sport, Bekah was there. I trained with Bekah. I trained with Rick Hussey. I used to send VHS tapes to Rick Hussey and Louis Simmons. That's how I got my coaching. And then Rick would call me up and be like, what the blap are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And then I get the same thing from Louis, so it was crazy time. And coming up and just seeing Bekah and Jill Mills and Cara Bohegan and Shannon Hartnett. And I mean, those were my girls. That's who I came up with. So being able to watch Bekah at the Arnold break all those records, there's I think it's her deadlift record when she's actually pulling. I'm the one videoing it. You hear my voice yelling, go B, in the background. So I was there during that whole time, and I was still, just barely coming up through the ranks at that point. Laura wasn't even in the sport then.
Right.
So as far as being able to, and then not only being able to share the platform with these women, but to be able to learn and really learn and be accepted by them was amazing. Because especially in the women's world, women are not nice for the most part. They're very catty, and they always think that you're in competition with them because they can't take into consideration that maybe you emulate them, Or, maybe, you're just interested in them as far as people rather than wanting to go to bat with them.
I feel like it's not like that in our sport, though. I feel like it's not like that as bad in our sport as
Yeah,
it
no,
is
no, no.
in
It's gotten a
MMA.
lot. No, it has gotten a lot better, but it definitely is still like that. I feel like if you don't fit into that specific niche, maybe you're a geared lifter and you're at like a raw kind of situation. I think it all depends. And I also think where in the country you are also,
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's freaking awesome.
I
And
think
I
it
love
depends
I
on,
love what I'm seeing.
I think it depends on what meet you're at too, and
Yeah.
the caliber of people at the meet, running the meet. I think a lot of it depends on that and who the meet directors allow at that meet.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we've been to some really, really great meets, and we've been to some meets where I was like, I don't want to be here. Like,
Yeah,
this
definitely.
is not how powerlifting should be.
Right.
So,
I mean, our sport is already like the dark horse of sports,
oh yeah. Yeah. We're definitely the black sheep.
So, if there's anything that we can do to continue to make it positive and grow, what the heck? Let's do it.
Yeah. I feel like and in July in Erie, like that was a huge deal to have so many women from so many different ranges in the sport. I mean, we had from, Natanya at 132 pounds, full power equipped, to Rayanne at bench only, and everything in between. And everybody, at least it felt like it to me from my perspective, like everybody was just, I was really proud of how supportive everybody seemed to be that day.
Yeah, no, everybody was, there was,
Well,
when people
almost everybody that
Yeah.
day was supportive, but
yeah.
we'll just leave that alone.
Well, that weekend, we'll say, there were different things that transpired, but I know that the day that I lifted, it was phenomenal. I had the best time. It was so much fun,
All the lifters were amazing.
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 Well, I think the girls stole the show. I don't care what anybody says.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
I mean, we were all yelling for each other in the back. Like if somebody missed a lift, like I yelled at Rayanne because I was like, you're the strongest fucking bitch here. I go, and I only did this meet for you because you asked me to do this meet. I go, I was judging all weekend. I'm like, I didn't have to do this. I'm like, so you need to step up to the plate and you need to hit that 600-pound bench. I'm like, you got it. I'm like, I've seen you do it in the gym. I'm like, just do it. It's just another day. And like her eyes got all teary. I'm like, just fucking do it. And then she went out there and smoked it. It was awesome.
That's fantastic. So do you remember your first meet?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And tell us about it.
So I was training for like 4 months. And when I first got into the sport, raw lifting really wasn't popular. It was all geared lifting. So, you had to like scramble and figure out what gear worked for you. And back then it was Franz and it was Inzer. I know metal was around back then. I know Anderson was back then too, but it was primarily at the point where everybody was transitioning from poly into canvas or denim. And at the time also Karen Klein, she had just started making denim suits back then. So I was wearing poly, and it was like my final workout before I was supposed to compete, like, I don't know, 2 weeks out. And my suit was so tight that I couldn't even get like the arms up because it came in wrong. It was a whole disaster. So my workout partner at the time, her name was Joyce Tactile. And she was actually pretty popular back in the early 2000s. She had this brand new Karen suit. So my workout partner at the time, he was like, you know what? He said to Joyce, he goes, go get your suit from the car. So she gives me this suit. I was like, what the fuck is this? And it's all denim, the whole thing, blue denim. So my boy's like, just put it on. So I put it on and I smoked 400 pounds. He's like, that's it. That's what you're going to squat at the meet. I was like, what? So meet day comes and Cara Bohegan is actually there doing the emceeing. And I don't remember who else was next to her, but it was somebody. And her and I were already friends because we had just met at another meet or something that my brother was doing. But I was still nervous as fuck. I was like, holy shit, Kara's freaking emceeing, you know? So got under the bar. My first squat, I freaking fell down. My opener smashed. So got up again. And then I was a nervous wreck, you know?
Yeah.
I couldn't find my feet under the bar. I was all discombobulated. Wound up getting my opener. I think at the time was 365 or something. And then my workout partner was like, just go right to 400. And I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, I only tried it once. He was like, just shut up, just do it. So I got my setup right under 400, boom, squatted 400 my first meet. And back then that was a big deal.
That's crazy. Yeah.
You know? So yeah, and I just loved it. I don't remember what I benched. I think it was 215 or something in a single ply Inzer stupid pull over your head blast shirt. And then I think I pulled 315. So yeah.
You've come a long way since that first meet.
I'd say so.
A little bit. So that was actually my next question was your first meet raw or equipped, but never mind. We covered that.
Yeah, it was definitely equipped.
So who are some of your favorite lifters right now, both male and female?
I love Amber because she is a true athlete.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she does roller derby. She does Olympic lifting, strong woman, powerlifting. Plus she's in the service.
Right.
She is strong as fuck and she's young.
Yeah.
So, you know, she has so much left in the tank. I feel like when she gets on the platform, she does a quarter of really what her potential is. I think she's phenomenal. I think, Rayanne, I love her. I've been talking to her for so long and I think that she's amazing and she's got so much more left in her and she's been through so much too.
Yes.
God, there are so many.
She's so resilient.
Yeah. So resilient.
Yes. And so quiet.
She's a really good person. I don't think a lot of people know that of her.
Yeah. And Jeff is too, her husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
awesome.
They're just amazing people.
Dave Hoff is the man.
Mm.
Chris Delafov.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kolb. Let's see. God, I don't even know. The little Puerto Rican, Kathleen James.
Kathleen.
She's a freaking Mighty Mouse, that chick.
Yes.
Allison is amazing. Sarah Effinger. I mean, there are so many women,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what about, what's her name? She just squatted 900 and something pounds at my meet.
Oh, Leah.
Leah
Reichman.
Reichman, there are just so many.
Grown men cried that day.
Barry said grown men cried that day. Yeah. Yeah, they did.
Amazing.
Yes. And she's so sweet.
So sweet. She's so funny.
So funny. Yes.
Yeah. We had such a good time.
Her personality is just, she fits right in with that Delafave crowd.
Oh, she does big time. Yeah.
Yes.
There's also, Mike Skibba. He's from Hellbent Barbell.
Mm-hmm.
He is strong as fuck. I got a kid on my team, this kid, James Edgiabite. He's 177 pounds, gonna squat 1,000.
Wow.
So there are so many great lifters.
There really is a huge pull of just such high quality,
Yeah.
both
I mean, look at
character.
Pharrell. Rob is like ridiculous.
I was just about to say
I
both
mean,
in character and in
yeah,
ability. And
yeah,
when you say for me, when somebody says anything about character, the first person that comes to mind is Rob.
I love him.
They just don't make them like Rob anymore.
No, he's so genuine. He's such a good dude. You know,
Yep.
I could just call him for nothing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, he and I'll just text him just because,
Yeah, exactly.
And anybody that hasn't had the opportunity to spend any time with him, that's like, I think everybody, and I'm not going to invite everybody out to Rob's place because he'd kill me,
Yeah.
but I think everybody should get to spend a day just hanging out with Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Barry said, trying to keep up with him.
No, he doesn't stop.
He doesn't stop.
Nope.
He doesn't sleep.
I know.
And he just like, and he just gives.
Yeah.
Yeah. We, the day before our meet, it was me and Barry and our daughter Hadley and, Heidi Hauer. We went out on the boat in Erie and he's working from the boat. I'm like, dude, take a break. Like, just,
that's his thing.
Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't stop.
He's a good dude.
He is. And would do anything for anybody.
Yep. 100%. Absolutely.
Yep. I have a quote up actually on one of our pages that says, I do shit out of love, pay me back with loyalty. And I saw that actually we were sitting at lunch at Permane Brothers with Rob when I saw it and I showed it to him. I said, this is you right here.
Yeah.
And it is. He's
awesome.
His heart is in everything he does. And his mom. Oh,
I love her.
I love Mom.
I was help coaching her.
I love Mom.
We're on a hiatus now until we decide when she's doing the Arnold, I think.
Is she?
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you find what you were looking for?
No, open powerlifting only goes back to like 2003.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
So she probably has other meets that are on Powerlifting Watch. So
you have the number of meets that she's done,
Yeah.
but like her actual lifts are right.
Yeah. Those are right.
So typically we try to look up how many meets somebody's done and first places but for you that's a little more difficult because Powerlifting Watch is a little
Powerlifting Watch is a nightmare for me to navigate.
Yeah, it's hard to
No,
navigate.
I know. I just to even look up like bench only or whatever the heck, it's like I always have a problem with it. In fact, I had it on kilos and I kept going back and forth. And Rob took my phone. He goes, "You're on kilos." I'm like, "Do they have a pounds?" And then he pushed the button. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, that's how that works. Yeah, and to try to do it on a phone is even worse. Like it's such a nightmare.
Man, it's so annoying.
So so I do have your actual number. So your best squat right now is 725.
In a meet, yeah.
Yes, in a meet.
Yeah.
Your best bench is 550 and your best deadlift is 510.
Yeah.
And then right now your best total, because your 550 was in a bench only.
Yeah.
And your best total right now is 1685.
Yeah.
Do you have those numbers are just crazy, by the way. Do you have any goals for this year? Do you have any upcoming meets? Are you set on those numbers or are you pushing them higher?
So, okay. So I made an agreement with Jay after I hit the 1685 because 725 was just such a dumb squat and I went for the all-time world record and I blew my air out. It was a whole stupid thing because my best squat in the gym is 805. I have it on video. I've done it fucking a million times. So I made an agreement with Jay after my last full meet that I would, if I were to compete again, it would really only concentrate on bench only because he just doesn't want to see me get hurt. It's not like I'm getting any younger. But, you have that feeling inside of you that I'm like, I know, like I work out numbers. I'm like, well, if I only squatted 7 and then I benched like 570, and then if I pulled like 520, I'm like 1800.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm still kind of like putting that, it's swirling in my head. So I might have to, I don't know, have a conversation. It's people don't realize that, this sport, it not only puts so much stress on the lifter, but it's put so much stress on the people around them, and, this is what I do. And I live it, breathe it, live it, breathe it. So may it be me being an athlete or running meets or coaching or, whatever the case is. So for me to get into like full meet mode, it's a lot. And it takes an army to help me. Like I need my team there, I need to have Jay there. I have to be in the right mental space. So when I do a bench meet, it's complete opposite. Because I only have to do one thing.
Right. You just have to bench.
I just have to bench. I don't have to worry about wraps in a stupid fucking suit and all our shit. So I don't know. It's the full meet thing is still swirling in my head. What I'm going to do as far as bench, I'm definitely going to do a meet next year. I just don't know which ones I'm going to do. I was invited to the WPO. I'm on the fence with that one. I don't know. I'm probably not going to do that one. And then I was invited to Rita's in September, but I'm hosting my meet September 11th. We do our September 11th memorial meet every year.
Right.
Even though hers is like a couple weeks after after mine. I don't know. I got to see. And then I might do Rob's. I don't know. I'm going to do something. I just don't know what.
Well, you might be judging in July.
Oh.
Unless you just decide that that's your 1800 full power. If you decide that's your 1800 full power, then I'll let you off the hook for judging. How's that? I'll make that deal with you.
All right.
Either way, you have to be in Erie in July.
Well, either way, I will be in Erie in July.
You made the comment that lifting is not only hard on the lifter, but on the family as well. And like, I don't think people really understand how difficult it is on everybody involved. I've said a million times that I think the handler gets more of a workout at a meet than the lifter does.
100%. I mean, a bunch of my guys are doing a meet in March, and Rob and Logan are going to be there. And Rob's like, maybe you should bench. I gotta wrap 5 people.
And I don't think people realize how many men, their handlers are women.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I know.
We have Trent and, Trent's squatting 1,000 pounds and benching 800 pounds and deadlifting. I don't know what he's 750 somewhere around there. And I'm not saying that's all he has to do, but all he has to focus on is picking up weight. Like that's, and as a handler, that's our job.
He doesn't like anybody touching his suit but you.
And he doesn't like anybody touching his suit but me.
I wrap his knees, but you have to
Barry will wrap his knees, but that equipment needs to be set by me.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, and
very superstitious. There's only one person that wraps me, and there's only one person that touches my suit. That's it. The same thing with my shirt.
As a lifter, it's you get, there's a relationship with your handler. They know exactly what to set, what to say, what not to say.
Yep.
When you want to be talked to, when you want to be left alone.
Yep. Absolutely.
Where you like your straps. We and he yelled at me when he found out later, but we were getting ready for the Arnold, and I was putting him in a pair of briefs, and I wasn't thinking, we just, you're going through the motions and you're doing the same thing you've done 1,000 times. But he had a new pair of briefs that he was trying on, and they didn't have
the
straps on them. So I rolled the back of them up real tight, and I pulled like this. And when I did, I popped my AC joint.
Oh God.
So I took a deep breath, and I got him in we're 3 months out from the Arnold.
I know. Yeah.
You can't tell your lifter that you're hurt.
I know.
So, no, my lifter can't know I'm hurt. What are you talking about? So I told Barry, I was like, listen, my shoulder's messed up. So when we're done with the Arnold, I'm going to have to go see the orthopedic. Of course,
Yeah.
Barry goes into, no, you need, I'm like, no, I'm not going right now. We have
Yeah.
the Arnold, and this is Trent's first trip to the Arnold. We're not,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't, until you're in this sport, even, even people in the sport, and nothing against raw lifters at all, because they have handlers as well. But unless you are an equipped lifter or an equipped handler, like, it is extremely stressful. And, as an equipped handler, when you see your person get underneath that squat bar, listen, if he misses that squat, it is not going to be because I didn't set his suit right, or because
Right.
his straps aren't where they're
Yep.
supposed to be, or because, like, that's a lot of stress.
It is. I always say to everybody, I would rather be the lifter than be the coach, because it's a lot.
It
I
is.
mean, a lot. Every single person that gets under the bar that I'm working with, it's like I'm under the bar with them. That's how I feel. When they lift, like, I'm literally moving as they're squatting or as they're pulling. I'm pulling back, I'm like, when they're benching, I'm just like, drive, push away. Like, it's a lot. But you know what? That rush, to me, there's nothing like that rush. I feed off it.
Yep.
Like, yeah, like, I mean, there's a kid that I coach, his name is Joe Stein. He just squatted 12:15.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got like a 7-something bench, and he just pulled 7:45. He's 23 years old. He's my boy. I love him. And when we train together, there is nothing like having him there. When we were at Rob's, he's from Buffalo. He
Mhm.
drove to Rob's to watch me bench.
That's
And
fantastic.
just having him there, it
Mhm.
just makes a huge difference, because he knows, my headspace.
Yep.
So it takes an arm.
Yeah. So Trent did the WPOs this year, and that was the only meet that Barry and I have ever missed. And it was because my pick line was being placed
Oh,
the day that we were supposed to fly out. And I squalled like a baby. That was
Aw.
the hardest thing in this
Aw.
sport. That was the
Yeah.
hardest thing I'd ever done, was have to miss that weekend. Like, we were trying to
Yeah.
figure out a way that we could drive down, or, but my pick line had just been
Too
placed,
much.
and, I had to
Your
be
health comes
here,
first. Your health has to come
I
first.
had to be here for them to hook me up for the first
Yeah.
time and all of that. And I mean, and he bombed out of the WPOs, and I was an absolute wreck. Like, it was completely my fault. It was totally my fault. And
You can't look at it like that.
but as a handler, as a
Yeah.
coach,
Yeah.
that, how do you in that moment, how do you not feel like
Yeah. I mean,
totally
I've been
letting you
there.
down?
I went to Finland all by myself. I had 2 people that were supposed to come with me at the last minute. Their tickets were bought, and they were like, I can't go. So I went all by myself. Thank goodness Daniel Tahanro was there, because he helped me. If he didn't help me, I totally would have bombed out. Plus,
Yeah.
they overloaded my bar by like 80 pounds.
And that's another thing that the sport has, and and it's not everywhere, but there is a huge family mentality. There's people everywhere willing to help.
Yeah, oh, big time. I always say, I'm always inviting people to my gym. We don't, in New York as a whole, like on Long Island where I'm at, we don't have like a big influx of powerlifters. There's one other facility besides mine that does powerlifting, and I can't even talk about that person. It's terrible. But anyway, besides that, he only has like, so many lifters, and I only have so many lifters.
Right.
And then there's lifters in the city, and they're all raw. And people from the city, they won't come out to me. So it's interesting. Connecticut has a really big influx. But as far as like my facility is concerned in my gym, we are always welcoming people.
Yeah.
You know, we're always like, come train, even people wherever else. If people need help, if they need anything, I'm always like, I'll help you. Come train.
Right.
You know, I'm always, you know, giving my hand out saying, you know, whatever anybody needs.
Yeah, that's and I think our circle seems to be more like that than anything else I've seen. Our circle seems to be more willing to just kind of extend that hand. And, you know, I mean, Barry and I started this whole journey just because we wanted to give people in Texas, equipped lifters, a platform.
Yeah.
You know, there weren't a whole lot of places here in Texas for equipped lifters. And we just kind of wanted to give them a platform. And
Yeah.
we, you know, we go broke every meet, but it's okay.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Tell me about it.
yeah, we're just,
When I give away money, I don't get sponsorship. I'm
Right.
giving away my own money.
yeah, we're not in
You
this.
know, I'm not in this to make money.
Yeah.
That's
if
not
you're
where
in
my money comes
powerlifting-
from.
If
And
you're
my
in
money
powerlifting-
doesn't come from running meets.
Yeah. If you're in powerlifting to make money, you are in the wrong
Wrong sport.
business. Yeah.
Exactly.
Especially when it comes to being an equipped lifter.
Yeah. It's expensive.
Whew, it's
You know?
painfully expensive.
Yeah.
So tell us, we talked about your career.
Mhm.
Tell us, what other hobbies do you have outside of powerlifting or, you know, coaching and stuff?
So I'm an adventurous person. So I love hiking. For Christmas, we just got paddle boards. So I'm looking forward to doing that this summer. I'm also very much into art. I was in fashion for many, many years. I love like interior design and I love going to exhibits and I do all this kind of stuff. So, as much as we can go into the city and explore the city, we're all about it. So we saw like 2 exhibits over the summer, which were really pretty cool. And yeah. So I do a lot of like interior design and things too. So maybe that's something that most don't know about me. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah. I love being
Now-
creative.
That's just another reason I got to get you to Texas, because
Yeah.
I need some help.
Hey, I'm all about it.
What other fun facts do we not know about Shawna?
I'm goofy.
You are a lot of fun.
I can take a joke just like them all. I'm a Spitfire.
Very well.
Barry said you wear a kilt very well.
Thank you. I try. I'm definitely a girly girl.
Yes.
You know, I have this persona like when I'm lifting and stuff that I might be like this big old brute. But I love doing my hair, I love doing my makeup, I love dressing, like that's my thing. Jay says I'm just bougie. And I don't know. I don't think there's much more that people don't know about me.
I think
I
the
don't know.
bougie thing most
Unforgiving.
people wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Not unless they follow you a lot on Facebook. They might see it from the date nights and stuff. But I think unless you get to know you, I don't think people get to see that side of you very often. I'm glad that I get to see it.
Yeah, I think also not a lot of people know me. You know, I've actually been to places where they've had powerlifting, and I've had people ask me if I know who Shawna Mendelson is. It happened to me 3 times.
Meanwhile, Barry got off the elevator in Erie and he about had a heart attack. He's like, oh. He comes back up to the room and we're in the room just bullshit. He was like,
Aw. Oh, thank you. You know, I'm humble. I'm not all about that. You know, sometimes people will compliment me and I'm just like, look, I lift weights just like you, you know? So I don't know. I'm just real as they come, I think.
Absolutely.
I'm
I
very
don't know that there's a truer statement that's ever been made. Absolutely. Probably one of the most humble people I've met. I love that you're part of my life.
Thank you. I love you guys.
I love that you're part of my life outside of powerlifting as well. You know, I love doing these interviews. I've gotten to meet and talk to so many people that I probably would have never, you know, had the chance to really sit down and talk to. For me, it's more, and this sounds terrible, but it's a lot more fun for me when I get to sit down and talk to my friends as well, because,
Yeah.
you know, like I have some pretty freaking cool friends. Like I've
You
got
have
some
amazing
strong, badass friends, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
Brought a lot of shit
These-
people into our lives, but it's brought more.
these are my girls. Yeah, Barry said this sport has brought some crappy people into our lives, but it more importantly has brought some amazing, a lot more amazing people than crappy people.
You know, I will say, basically just stemming off of what you just said, you know, from that July meet, even though it was an interesting situation, I become friends with so many women from that meet that, you know, maybe I just saw lifting like on Instagram, or, you know, never really had an opportunity to talk to or whatnot. And now we like actually talk,
Mhm.
you know, and that's what I love about, you know, our circle and, you know, the people that you surround yourselves. Cause I have a very small circle when it comes to, you know, my inner circle.
Right.
But really, you know, getting the opportunity to find out more about, you know, people who I never would have ever met if it wasn't for you guys. So I thank you for that. It's very cool.
You know, and July was really awesome. There were only a few minutes that
Yeah.
were, you know, that we could have done without,
Yeah.
but those few minutes changed all our lives for the
It
better.
did. It did.
It-
It brought us together like
Absolutely. It stuck us all together like glue.
It did.
It really did.
Yeah.
And I, you know, I'm thankful for them.
Me too.
They were rough minutes for me because I was so sick.
I know. I was so worried about you.
But I wouldn't change any of it. It definitely showed me who my family was, and it has strengthened all of my friendships and my bonds with the people that I already knew were in my life for good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, July was fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it again this year.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And you know, when we talk about our circle, like we have a big circle of people. Like we have a huge network of people, but and even our inner circle is still pretty big.
Yeah.
Our support system is just phenomenal.
It's awesome. And everybody's better, you know, like everybody's so good and everybody wants to help everybody. Like, you know, we have Flip, we have William, you know, we have Kevin Pittman, we've got you guys, you know, myself, we've got Josh, we've got, there's
Shell.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just like we have so many strong people, and it blows my mind.
I know.
It blows my mind. And I'm so grateful for every one of you guys. Like,
thank you. We love you too.
I love you guys so much. All right. Well, I know you have family coming over, so I just have I guess just really one more that I want to ask. What advice would you give to, you know, lifters in general, young lifters, female lifters, anybody in this sport that's, you know, facing any type of adversity? What would be your biggest piece of advice?
There's a few things. First is learn that fear is learned. When you get under a bar, there is no fear. You have one job. Second, taking care of yourself. Health is number one. You can't do any of this if you don't take care of yourself, Barry.
I know.
You need to sleep. You need to eat right. You need to take your vitamins. I don't know who all out there are vaccinated or not vaccinated. If you are vaccinated, make sure you are taking fish oil every single day. We want to prevent blood clots. Coaching. If you decide to hire a coach, make sure that not only do they have experience, but make sure they've been in the trenches. Make sure they have the education of what this sport truly is. Make sure that they care about you rather than lining their pockets. Coaching should not be a popularity contest. It shouldn't be a sideshow. This is your life. If you get hurt, you're fucked. How are you going to work? How are you going to provide for yourself, for your family? Be smart. Technique, form, health. And lastly, surround yourself with the right people. There are so many people out there that are willing to help, that are there for you. You know, my whole career, I traveled all over the United States. I didn't have internet when I was first coming up in the sport. There was no internet. I didn't even have a cell phone. I had to actually pick up the phone and dial the phone, you know, and call up, you know, Rick Hussey in Omaha and Louie in Ohio, and, you know, see them at meets. You know, I was doing a meet one time and Chuck Vogelpool was there and he was competing, and I was squatting and he was like, Shawna, he's like, you got to open up more. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you need to sit back. You need to open up your legs. He goes, if you do that, he's like, you're going to smoke it. Went out there. I heard him. I listened to that one voice and I freaking smashed the weight over at nationals, you know? So you need to really look at yourself and figure out what your short and long-term goals are, because that's how you're going to accomplish them. And lastly, believe in yourself. Don't ever not believe in yourself.
That first fear is learned is yeah. Never really thought about that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I love you beyond words, girl. I'm so happy you sat down with me today. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me. I feel so special. It's awesome.
You are so special.
Love you, Barry.
Love you too.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Tell Jay and the dogs we said Merry Christmas. I hope
I will,
everybody
you
has an
guys.
amazing night with the family.
Thank
And I'm sure I'll be talking to you
Yeah.
later tonight or tomorrow, but I love you very much. And
I love you
I'm
too.
going to tell you the same thing I tell everybody as I'm wrapping up. I know how important your time is. And so I want you to know how much it means to me that you took time out of your life to sit down with me today. I know that your time is valuable. So I hope you know that it's valuable to me as well. And I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Well, you are valuable to me as well.
Right back at you, babe.
All right, honey. I'll see you
I
soon.
love you.
Bye. Love you too.
Bye.